Link started maxing W first on the Blanc and just farming and farming and farming and farming and farming. And it actually turned out that that's probably the better way to play LeBlanc in most matchups. Not all of them, but most matchups, it's actually better to just farm up, get your DFG, and once you have DFG, your damage just quadruples. Well, it doesn't actually quadruple, but it goes through the roof. Enough that you can one-shot someone without having like another 2 points in Q that you threw into W. Because you get a loss of damage there.
So it's either go for the full aggro or go for the farm style of build, and Link was
Hmm.
going to be the big innovator for that one.
Yeah, Link was the kind of the innovator for the farm style build, and that's actually how you should play LeBlanc, in my opinion, these days. And most people don't know that. Most pro players don't know that. Most pro players are still doing kind of like the Faker-esque style, the style I actually started using too after I watched Faker, which is just straight up aggression, 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 aggression. But when you play against really, 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 really good players, you start to see that it just doesn't work because what happens is champions like Syndra, champions like Gragas, champions like Orianna, they just abuse you by pushing the lane. And there's no way LeBlanc can deal with pushing unless you max W.
Where next?
And we'll get into this later, but what would you recommend for starting items and for a skill point?
Okay, so there's two starting item builds. There's either the Doran's Ring and two health potions, which you want to typically get in matchups where the enemy champion is not going to bully you. And what I mean is like Zed. Zed can't really bully you. He's a melee champion. You walk up to him, you auto attack him. XD. Gragas also. He's a melee champion at the start of the game. He doesn't really do that well, so
He's not going to get into your face
he's
unless
not going
you
to get
let him
into
get
your
into your
face.
face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But champions like Cassio, champions like Orianna, it becomes a little bit different, and sometimes I like to go Crystalline Flask, three health potions. So in this mirror matchup, uh, we're going to be kind of trading back and forth, and it's going to be highly aggressive.
Looks can be deceiving.
So I think the health pot start, I mean the crystalline flask start is much better. Not to mention they slightly buffed basically potting in general because you
Patience.
should have the util mastery, the alchemist one, that increases potions effectiveness by 10%.
So yeah, it'll last what a second and a half
It's
longer,
all
but then you get an
smoke
extra
in here.
15 HP just with the base
Yep,
potions.
basically.
Pretty legit. And first point for LeBlanc,
W.
W. Okay.
W, so primary way to play LeBlanc is actually not to
Classic
kill people all the
misdirection.
time. It's to control the lane and put pressure and push the wave. So initially, people would start off the game like this, and they'd have Q, and they'd run
Are
up to
you
you, and
certain?
they'd start trading, and that's a good play style and everything. But typically, when I go to lane, I want to land my W on the creeps and on the enemy champion I'm playing against.
Surprised
So
to see me?
for this instance, I would have already done it, but I would just do something like this, and then I just W back, and that just gets a lot of damage going. Now, you also want to get one auto attack.